to put that opportunity out there anyway, just in case, I was right about it. I was just basically going with my gut instinct, kind of like, but it ain't no real big thing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I say go with your gut instinct. Majority of the time, I mean, for most people, some people like judgment. I don't think is necessarily be correct because a lot of people be reaching, like really reaching.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you analyze the entire situation and you really think about it and it really does fit, I mean, it might be, and especially if they say name. Don't let them say a name, then you know the shoe fit and you know it's for you.
See, that's what I'm talking about, though. We talking about when they don't say names. You understand? But then,
Yeah, but if y'all been in a situation, like this is the thing. This is one thing too for me. Like you ain't gotta say a name, but if say for instance, me and you have been in a certain type of situation, say like just some this is just some random stuff I'm gonna say. Oh, we went to the store and the situation happened. And they speak on that situation of us going to the store. Like 9 times out of 10, who
right,
could that have happened to?
right.
It
It's like,
couldn't
who
happen
could
to
they be
nobody
talking
but
about?
go ahead.
No, I know what you're saying. You're basically saying like this to bring it up. Like, who else could they be talking about? That's what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Like who else could they be talking about? So if it's like in situations like that, it's like, okay, well, that shoe must be fitting for me. Like you must be talking about me. And to me, you ain't gotta say no name. I'm gonna take it as if you talking to me
Mm-hmm.
in situations like that, you know.
Yeah,
But
I don't like that that narrative shit. Like that's where I'm coming from, because it's like I don't think people really be thinking about some of the shit they be saying. Let me say this: I don't give a fuck what nobody on here think about me. That's first off. Now that might sound ignorant to some people. They might be saying, "Well, you know what I mean." Some people take that as, "Well, you must not, like value the dynamic we have." No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if nobody don't pay my bills or anything like that, how can I let like other people's thoughts have that much effect on me from the internet? That's all I'm saying. But
it shouldn't, you know? Because a lot of people be sitting on this app and it takes over their whole entire life. Meanwhile, I could give two fucks about this shit. You know what I mean? This shit don't, like you say, it don't pay my bills, you
yeah,
know? So you got people that this is just their whole entire life and this is how they move and this is what they do. I don't necessarily, I got a whole life up out of this, by this
yeah,
social media, So I could care less.
be real shit. It be real shit going on, and that's why I can honestly say if this was if it was a couple years ago and I got up here, it would have been a different, a completely different result. It would have been a completely different way of handling it. You know what I'm
Would
saying?
have lit their ass up, huh?
Yeah, yeah, something like that, something like that. You know, but it's corny. It's corny because it's no end game to this type of shit. You know what I mean? It's not. Um, like I literally like had it in my mind to come up here a completely different way, but when people started coming in the chat, I'm like, I don't want these people to see me act no damn fool over something that I just, I'm kind of a different person when it comes to handling this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about positive vibes, and I preach that shit. So for me to get up here and go the route that I really was gonna go was like, you know, I had to catch myself on the spot, basically. You know.
Yeah. That's the thing about this, you know, this thing is that honestly, it's like, man, people can say whatever they want to say, honestly, because it's no consequences to what you say majority of the time on here. Like people is not gonna see you. Some people will catch a flight and see you, but it's just a matter of, it's a lot of research trying to figure out where you stay, all of that. You know what I mean? It's too much.
Now that shit, really, that's the whole thing, though. We in a time where that shit not hard, and it's not really not hard to find now. Like if you pay attention to some of these situations that be happening, that be like when they get into it, that be the first thing that's
Yeah, they want
exposed
to knock
about
you.
the person, the first thing that's put out there about their ass. Because even though people they kind of say that it's illegal to dox somebody, but the information is kind of already there, so it's kind of like really not. But it's more so the fact that, well, I didn't want these motherfuckers on here to know it though. You know what I'm saying? So either way, it's a violation. But because there was actually a time when I almost I almost took a trip on somebody on here just like some years ago. And see, that's the type of shit I'm talking about because like the people who are like throwing these shots and hiding their back and shit like that, they don't know how far the shit really can go on here. They think that they probably, they just don't know. Like you don't understand it until you like really been through shit. I know how far it can go, and I know there's normally no end game to it. When you a grown man, like these niggas be looking stupid as hell on here doing the shit they be doing. Like even some of them like beefing with women and shit. You ain't gonna catch me on here going back and forth with a woman. That shit make me feel so small about myself. Stupid shit, man.
Yeah, that's another thing, like you said about the end game. It really ain't because I'm be honest, shit. I mean, people be having shit to lose now. You know what I mean? Some people do. So it just depends on if you got what you got going on.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that preaching shit. That's why I tell like anybody who be listening to me, like if you ever feel like I was a hypocrite or anything like that, let me know. Because despite what some people might think, I'm easy as hell to talk to. So I can take accountability if I fucked up or if if I came off a certain way. But, just be the hypocrisy and shit on here, man. Like, but my main thing was this: the narratives, right? When you don't got your facts right and you don't come to the person and ask them or whatever the case is to get it out, then you got to be careful with that shit. It's not just the words you putting out; it's the energy you coming out. Because a lot of people, if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't be able to take shit like that. They would take it like 10 times worse. You understand? It's just it's corny, man. Like I feel stupid I even came up here for real, but I feel like my point got across to whoever it needed to get across to. So I ain't even gonna leave this shit up. Honestly, I'm gonna delete it when I get off here.
What? You feel like that?
Yeah, I feel like it was stupid to come up here in a way, but oh, you mean about the? Do I feel like it got across to whoever it needed to get across to? That you talking about that part?
I mean, I just either way, honestly, I just feel like you feel like that way. I mean, I get what you saying, though. I get what you saying because when you really get up there and you express yourself and you realize like, is the shit even really worth it? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying? You get to
yeah,
really thinking like, this shit dumb as fuck.
yeah.
It's stupid.
You know,
So I get what you saying on that part.
people be
But
watching you
I
switch
mean,
back.
honestly, like I was gonna tell you, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Either way, I already said what I feel like I needed to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and anybody listening, don't think this shit like got me down or nothing like that. Nigga just tired and shit. I would almost wasn't gonna come up here, but you know, like I don't, cause like I say, I always be telling people, like, peace and positivity and all that shit. Like there's other people who ain't pop up in here who might watch this shit after and be like, damn, I didn't know he was on that type of time. I started thinking about shit like that. And I ain't trying to be no role model. Don't get it twisted. But I've been through way worse shit than some rocks being thrown on a damn app. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if it's something that need to be said, then it can be said to me. That's all. It ain't that big of a deal. But some people they'll say, they just keep on with it and keep on with it. Then it's like, all right, okay, okay.
I feel like some people just be dead wrong on a lot of stuff. And then, let's talk about it. Even one time there was a situation with you and I, but like, cause I had jumped to, well, I want to say
Mm-hmm.
this. I had jumped to the conclusion,
Mm-hmm.
but just for my situation, I did say I didn't know for sure or not if you were involved in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I jumped on the panel and then I got so like I got to talking and then you was in the chat and I just got to, you know what I mean? Just I don't know. And shit just took over and then I just kind of came at you or whatever at the situation. But believe it or not, like if you literally like if you go back and talk to these people, I literally said, I do not know if exactly he said this or not. You know what I mean? So I was just gonna kind of sit it out and wait and see if you really was coming for me or not. You know what I mean? But I just kind of like jumped on the panel, started talking, and then I just kind of jump the gun and try to. My bad. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of just jumped the gun and put you in it when my first mind was already saying like sit back, chill, relax. So me and you, but we went behind the scenes and we talked about it, yada yada yada, and got over it. But yeah,
Right.
so even me and you had a situation like that before, but majority of the time I try not to like come at people or put people in situations, especially if I don't know for sure, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But even I got people that, you know, that think I was involved or I've done certain shit, but I don't even care, bro. Think what you want to think. You know what I mean? I don't care. Think what you want to think. Because I think what it all boils down to is people insecurities and what they got going on. Like it's crazy to me how people conjure up a whole fucking story in their head and swear you was involved.
Yeah. And, that's definitely, that's the side of shit that people don't see, when you brought that up. Like it's easy to have a misunderstanding or some type of fallout, but people don't see the part when shit gets straightened out or whatever the case, which is why every now and then I tell people like, like I've had my times where I've, you know, had I'll say a petty back and forth with somebody that I was cool with. And then it's like we had to like get on a panel and show people, okay, you seen us going at it this way. So y'all probably thinking, oh, these motherfuckers, they beefing, they corny, whatever. So we gonna straighten it out in front of them so that they know everything is good. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, this would be crazy as hell, man. So that's why I try not to really like come on here too much. You know what I'm saying? But then I be thinking like, hold up, I pay for this motherfucking stream yard. I mean, I gotta pop up on this bitch sometimes. That's just you know what I'm saying? Shit.
You gotta pop out, show out. No, I get what you saying though. Man, the internet is a love and hate situation. I don't know how you feel about it, but it's definitely a love or hate. It's great because you can reach people from all over the world, but it's definitely, it's crazy because people begin to gain this perception about you, and that might not even be you, and
Uh-huh.
people have their own mind and start just make up all kind of crazy shit. And it's just I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy what goes on.
That's just it right there. That's what I was saying earlier. I'm like, if you got a person who might take a small narrative, it might not mean shit to you for real. But when you on a platform like this, it's like a snowball. That shit start rolling downhill, get bigger and bigger. Before you know it, a whole group of people might have been looking at you a certain way because of what one person was saying. And even though you really don't care what they think, sometimes it's the principle. That's the only other way I could put it. For me, it's really the principle. Some people say things because they feel like they can't, because they feel, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Everybody is like on different sides of the world and shit like that. That's why a lot of these situations play out. That's why they can do the things they do. Nobody's really coming into contact with anybody um offline or whatever to really like handle that, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's just odd. It's just keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? Because communication can solve a lot of shit. But
But that's the thing though, realist is like sometimes some people don't want to keep it real or they don't want to communicate. They want to stir up. That's the whole point. You
mhm,
get what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes people don't want to come to you. They don't want to talk about it because all along they was a hater to begin with.
mm,
So they was just trying to find something to hate on. So now it's like, oh, you said something or a situation happened, and it's like, oh, yeah, now I can pick at this situation. And, like, hey, I don't know. People is weird, but that happens. And it's like, they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to have a conversation with you. They don't want to straighten it out. Why? Because they don't like you or they
yeah.
want to be a hater. You know what I mean? Like
I
people
felt
be having their agendas and be feeling some type of way. You be sitting here chilling, thinking shit cool, and meanwhile, this whole person is feeling insecure and hating on you the whole entire time. And it's
mm,
you know,
mm. I felt that one.
man, I'm telling you, this shit is weird.
It's a shame. It's a that shit is a crying shame, you know. And sometimes when they, when they really be feeling that way, like towards somebody, whatever, a lot of people think they be hiding that shit well, but they really don't be hiding that shit. You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't.
And when they see, and then when somebody makes a move to like, okay, I kind of like see what it is. You know what I'm saying? Then that's when they really start like putting that foot forward. So once you see that, it's like, yeah, it wasn't really, no, we wasn't really cool or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you fall out with somebody and they just start like bringing up mad personal shit or whatever the case, it's like, well, damn, you couldn't really fuck with me that much. If you that, you mean tell me we just fell out? You already throwing that shit out there? That's my business and shit like that.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
I'm saying. That's what I'm like. They never was a friend. They always was a hater. Like this is the thing is like I never got is like if we cool and then we fall out and if we fall out, you immediately like you don't want to fuck with me no more. Especially if I ain't done nothing just like crucial, like
Mm-hmm.
detrimental. You know what I mean? Like you mean to tell me that we can't talk about and have a conversation and solve the situation?
It be past that shit. It really be past.
It be because no, they already a hater, bruh. They already a hater. And they just been trying to find something and they been ready. They been waiting. And so that situation came about and it's like, yeah, this my time. You know what I mean? I done found something now. I'm
Mm.
supposed to just hate on it. I'm just, ain't no resolution. Like I look at it's weird to me how I can be like we can literally I can be friends with somebody and we get into it or we get into a we get into an argument and then like you don't want to talk to me no more. That's weird to me. I'm gonna be honest. especially if I ain't done nothing like really, really, really wrong. Like I can see there's boundaries for some people. There is. But I believe people do need grace. There are some people, there's people where we all mess up. And for somebody to come back and say, you know what, hey, I apologize. I'm sorry. And then for you to be like, you don't you don't want to fuck with me, you know what? That shit weird. Cause to me it's like, what's your agenda? What was your agenda?
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
what you feel about that? Am I right? Like, how do you feel about that?
No,
Cause that shit be weird.
I hear exactly what you're saying. But as you were saying it, I was also, I think I had said this earlier. Let me see if I could reiterate it the way I did earlier. Like I also understand that my bad. Appreciate you, Shay. Appreciate you. Peace, peace. Uh, like everybody has their own perspective. Everybody has their own feelings about shit. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what the case is, we think the way we feel and
Hey, Shay. I
the
didn't
way
know
we're
she was in here.
reacting to it, we think we're going about it the right way. You know, that person, they might feel like they're handling it their way too. You understand? There could be some inconsistencies or whatever the case, but different from that, this just like you say, it just go back. It really go back to that hating shit for me because I kind of like been saying that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could just tell. Like you ever been around somebody and it's like no matter what you say, they kind of like downplay it, and they, you know what I'm saying? They downplay like everything you say, and it's just always negative. It's just negative at certain points, and there's no humor behind it. So you start to really wonder like why would they say, why would they say something like that? Like, why would they respond like that? You start wondering, like, I don't know, what's the real feeling there? Like I said, it goes back to like people are not really good hiders and shit. They don't really know how to, maybe they don't mean to, which that makes perfect for me because I tell people, let me know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can have a conversation and we can get past it if that's the case. But so, let's keep it 100. A lot of situations ain't even worth getting past because what do they say? Some people come for what? A season or some shit like that. Whatever that saying is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You really wasn't meant
you're a
to.
hater. If you're downplaying everything, you're a hater to me.
Yeah, and it's like you.
I'm just saying, you're a hater if you're downplaying everything.
It's
There's
like
a way to say certain things.
you just. Yeah, yeah, I don't understand that. Like making them type of jokes where only they laughing at. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not laughing at that. Like I don't know if that was a shot. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
Like trying
You
to
know?
make you feel less than.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you a motherfucking hater. You're a hater. You trying to belittle me to big up you, to make you feel better like
Mm-hmm.
you're better than me. Like, no, motherfucker. No. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. You're a hater.
Yeah,
Period. That's just what it is. Because if you have to put me down to make yourself feel good, to pick yourself up, you're a hater. Why do you have to put me down to make you feel good? You shouldn't have to put me down. You should automatically put yourself up or make yourself feel good just because. You don't need to put me down. That's just like when people having conversations and then they like put other people down to try to talk about their conversation. You don't have to do that. Just prove your point and talk about what you want to talk about. You don't have to put anybody else down in the middle of your conversation.
yeah, yeah. That shit is weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like
And speaking about Shay, like when people overlook comments, I mean, I don't that is a little sketchy because sometimes depending on what people doing, like when you sometimes when you and some people live, some people just don't look at comments. I'm gonna be honest, some people don't because it kind of messes up with their train of thought when they are talking and stuff like that.
they do for me. I
So
ain't gonna lie.
yeah, and I know it does for me too, because when you want to get a point across and then you got people typing in the chat, you want to acknowledge everybody in the chat, but then at the same time, you trying to get your point across as well. So it's like that situation is kind of sticky, but I do understand what you're saying because to um it just depends, what type of person this person is, do they normally speak to people in the chat? Do they don't? That's a sketchy situation, but for me, I know sometimes if I'm being overlooked, especially a lot, and I know this person kind of looks in the chat and they speak to people a lot, to me, I probably just leave. I ain't even gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't, like, I know some people, especially if you ain't got a lot of people in your chat and your chat just not running like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, you got 5 people in there, you got 6 people, like, and I know you see me and my message just sitting
Right.
there. Like, come on, bro. Like that situation, yeah. But like if people chat kind of flowing and moving, I can kind of see where they kind of don't see you because hell, I know when I'm live, sometimes my chat can move and I just miss people. I'm gonna be honest, I just can't see people a lot of the times. You literally have to comment a lot for me to just finally be like, hey.
Yeah. 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 Like I ain't gonna lie. That shit definitely happened to me before. I know what she talking about. There's times where you know when in certain chats and there was people in there, but everybody had already said they shit, and there might have been a few people coming there at the same time as me, and I was like, say what up to somebody, whatever the case. Like I know you see that I said what's up, and then because you can't miss the blue, especially when you got a wrench. Now, how you don't speak
Mhm.
to a motherfucker that got a wrench in your chat?
Yeah, that's wild. You gave me
That's
the fucking
different.
wrench.
That's
Yeah,
different. I'm like, oh nah, this
your
take
name
this shit.
highlighted and shit. That's crazy.
I'm like, you need to take that shit. What you shoot? Yeah, I don't want that shit. Take that shit. Like, damn. You ain't got
But
no business like giving somebody a damn wrench if you feel like you can't speak to the motherfucker. But go ahead.
but now, like I do agree, some of that shit. It do be obvious though. It do be obvious that some people just don't want to talk to you, and for me, I'm just gonna say that for me, when I know it's obvious that people don't like me or they don't fool with me, I'm be honest. I just don't come go to your chat no more. I just chill. I'm good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I'm good for real.
Because we can like um misread misread energy. Like sometimes I be questioning if I do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I might have. There might be some situations where I might have misread the energy, but I kind of made this analogy earlier. It's like if your gut instinct is telling you, this is why I be saying act accordingly and shit. I really be doing that. I'm feeling like I'm going off of how I felt in that moment, what I thought, what based on what their action was at that moment. But then when you think back, sometimes it's like I wonder if I might have overreacted because I don't mind, owning up to some shit, saying, you know what, that's on me, my bad. You know what I'm saying? That's on me. But
But
a lot of people don't like taking that accountability, though.
man, and you said it right there because I'm gonna be honest though. At least you sit up and you say, am I overreacting? Like, am I overreacting? At least you ask that question because you got a lot of people who do certain stuff and it's like, bruh, you're reaching. Like you're reaching and like you're doing too much. The thing is that when you are thinking something or you are feeling some type of way, I think the correct thing would to be is to ask yourself, like, am I overthinking this? Could it be this? Could it be that? I feel like give yourself certain situations or certain scenarios where, you know, could it be this? Could it be that? Do you think that in your mind? Because I know I do.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it be like that. Yeah. Mhm.
Cause you could be tripping. And it's like, listen, I don't want to get it wrong, or I don't want to think a certain way, and it not be. So I want to make sure. So I think as people, we have to kind of do that too. We have to analyze a little bit and kind of say, could they
Mm,
be doing this? Could they be doing that? Because sometimes, like, even when people be in chats and people be speaking and all of that, I give people grace when they my bad. I say, I give people grace when sometimes they don't speak to me because sometimes I feel like, hey, people could be doing stuff. Cause I know me in the middle of people's lives and stuff like that. Yeah, I could be cooking. I could be, you know what I mean? Hey, I can't speak to everybody sometimes. You got kids, you got this, you got everything going on. Life is life in
yeah,
the middle of a live, you know what I'm saying? And people be feeling some type of way because people be like, oh, well, you didn't speak to me in the chat. Look, I'm over here washing dishes. I'm over here cooking. I'm over here trying to feed a child. It just be a whole lot going on. Or I'm over here driving. you
multitasking.
know, yeah, I'm doing a whole lot. And I think people don't sometimes take that in account to certain things and they automatically just jump the gun and be like, oh, well, they ain't speaking to me. And I just think you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but fact of the matter is though, is when it's really meant to come off that way,
Oh, when it's meant, then that's a different story.
you know what I'm saying? That shit end up building up and shit. I don't know, man. Like, it's stupid shit, man. I don't like that preaching shit. You know what I mean? Folks be preaching like they got every detail of the universe figured out and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where this you can't give any uh phone trying to go off the hook and shit. We're talking about people where you can't tell them anything. You can't give them advice on anything. They got it all figured out. And it's
Yeah.
you gotta be on some type of pedestal when you actually take offense to it. Everything is, I got it. Now I know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like shutting down anything anybody else got to say, whatever, because they think they got everything figured out.
They know everything.
Yeah.
Them
Like,
the type of people you stay away from. Even I know I would. I would.
yeah, like if I come on, like if I go live, like come on here, which I try not to do too much, but like again, motherfuckers paying that stream yard, so I got to pop out sometimes and shit. But I'm open to all of that shit, man. Like I ain't bigger than nobody and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's a double edged sword, basically. You know what I'm saying? This internet shit. You know what I mean? But I'm about to. I told folks what I was getting ready to start doing. Like I took a break from it, but I'm about to go back to my damn battle rap shit. Like, which probably not gonna be going live like that because I don't need to go live to do that type of content. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I was in my lane. That's where like all my views and shit was coming from. But I just took a break from it because of some shit that was going on with the guidelines and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But once I do that, it's just gonna be all the bullshit behind me, all the negative shit behind me. You know what I'm saying? If I choose to stay on here like that, because god damn. Do me a favor, hold it down for like 10 seconds for me. Let me just take this real quick, please.
Word, word. I got you. I got you. Yeah, but I mean, I've had my little share of things going on this app or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like some things need to be addressed and some things don't need to be addressed because it's a lot of shit on this app that I see and I see people doing that I don't say much on. I just let it go. I see what you're doing, but it don't even be worth my time to even address. You know what I mean? Because it just don't even be that serious for me. I have a lot of other shit going on, it's just not that serious for me. But I see the shadiness, you know. I see what's going on. But for the most part, I let it go. But now, if it's something that I really, really, and I'm talking about really need to address, I definitely will address it. And I feel like everybody else should, you know, because especially when somebody tries to portray you a certain way, I feel like, or put an agenda out there, right? Like put something out there on you that's totally straight false. I feel like it's a time. It's time for you to speak up or say something. Definitely, for sure. You know, don't let nobody just run with a narrative about you, and especially if it's not true. You know, because that's when I'm definitely gonna speak up about it. But all this other little stuff that people be playing, all these other little games, you know, I see people do. I just kind of let them do what they do. I don't be worried about it too much, cause it don't be that serious for me.
For sure, for sure. Appreciate you. I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, but
But
thank you.
if you say my name, I'm damn sure addressing it.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
say my fucking name.
a
I'm
little
telling you
bit.
that right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. That's the only exception. That's the only, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what the case was in this situation because the name wasn't, like you say, the name wasn't really needed to be said because, I already know the deal in this specific situation. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, so what is it? Is it the white flag or is it the green flag? Is it the green light or is it the white flag? Which one? Because I'm still working on myself. I ain't all the way. I'm not too big to address a motherfucker. I ain't there yet. Not 100%. Shout out to Shay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you be saying some good stuff about leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like the positive talk and all that. I love all that talk, and I try to promote that shit as best as I can. But I'm still a nigga who came from the hood and shit. So I ain't all the way
Mhm.
there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the fact, and this is the shit this is what I love is the fact that you realize that you like, oh, I like that positive shit. I like all that, but I'm just a dude from the hood, and I'm just not all the way there yet. I like people like that because see now we can go somewhere. You understand who you are, where you at, and all that. The people that I can't f with is the people that act like they perfect or they ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? They act the opposite, like how you saying.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fool with you then because you know what I mean. There's no room for growth. There's no room for you to realize that hey, I'm not this perfect person or I'm not like this. There. So you get what I'm saying?
All right, everything you're saying, you're right. I concur. I definitely concur. Shay said I can still pop off if necessary. Yeah, um, and that's what I was saying earlier. People think if you being nice and all that shit, because
Right.
everybody who know me, I give everybody respect, man. I don't be trying to do all that shit like that. But there are some people who take that shit and they feel like they can take advantage of that, But that's just life in general. But
Definitely.
you
People
know,
do that.
yeah,
Especially if you nice, people do feel like they can run over you.
yeah, like am I honestly out off of this app? There's more edge to me than on here. But when I'm on here and I'm actually trying to like do content and shit, I try to present it in a way. I told people I could switch up a few ways. I could be hood. I could be because like I said, I come from the hood, so I got the thug and the hood in me and shit. But when I come on here and I'm trying to do content, I try to speak in a way where motherfuckers like, oh, I like what he talking about. He makes sense, like the way you know what I'm saying. Like I try to present it in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? People think there's like one side of you and shit when you say things like, oh, he come from the hood, so he only know how to talk and put it one way. So I try to prove people wrong about that shit because you see certain comments and things like that, especially when I was doing the battle rap thing. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't think what people realize there are layers to people.
mm-hmm.
And you feel like you get on this app and you know people, you don't really know people, bro. Like I don't care how much you watch somebody on a video, you don't know them. You know? You don't know them. That you see a certain layer of them, but there's so many, I think, different layers to people. so many different aspects to people
Yeah.
that you can't fully just look at a video of somebody and be like, oh yeah, I know them. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah, like anybody that listen to me, you gonna hear a little bit of you gonna hear a little bit of the nigga come out sometimes, half of the time, but then the other times, yeah, like I got sense, I got common sense, I know how to pronounce my words and all that shit. I ain't no dumb motherfucker, nothing like that. You know, it's not got nothing to do with proving nothing to nobody, but when you on a platform, and you never know who come across these videos and shit. You just act like you got some sense. That's all. You try to have some etiquette about yourself. That's all it is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sure. Well, I'm gonna get down. It was nice chit chat. I just came up here to mess with you a little bit. I was really just messing with you because I was like, oh yeah, I got something to say.
yeah, I'm like, not now. Now ain't the time.
Right.
Don't
You
get
was
me there.
like, hey,
You know what I'm
come up here
saying?
then. I get on
Mhm.
your head. You got something to say.
Nah,
I'm up here trying to play around and you really serious.
nah, I wasn't really serious like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't anybody worry about you. Anybody worry about you.
You were serious though about your little situation, but I helped you out because I let you. Now you done talked it off. You good, huh? You straight
Yeah,
now.
yeah, you can see, because I was getting ready to
You
end
feel
it.
you didn't calm down.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get twisted. I was already calm, you know what I'm saying? But I was serious about the whole, I was on some speak now forever hold your peace type shit. Cause I was like, I'm gonna delete this shit after. So I'm like, let me extend this invitation one more time before I get my ass up off here. So nobody can say that I was bullshitting about nothing. I said, it is what it is. But which I knew that link wasn't gonna get hit. I mean, of course you hit it, but you
I
know,
hit the link.
yeah,
What's up?
yeah.
Nah, let me stop.
But but on some real shit, when there's really something to be addressed, most people ain't not gonna do that because when you're talking about
Yeah,
like,
most people ain't about their life because they
yeah,
want the drama. That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes just let it go. Don't even worry about it. You have to just chalk it up as if they a hater. They wanted to hate from the get go. They never wanted to talk and straighten it out. Some people just never want to talk and straighten shit out. You know what I mean? They just wanted to be a hater. And they saw an angle that they could get at, and that was their way of, going against you or whatever.
yeah,
And
they just
so they just chose that.
and
Then again, you got some people who will come to you or who will hit the link and wanna resolve the situation. Cause they really did feel some type of way. They really did think this or that. You know what I mean? So they really are gonna get up there and say how they feel in certain shit. But a lot of the times, man, people be sitting there befriending you, and then they look for a reason to go against you. That's just really what it is. And the whole time they sitting there hating on you, feeling insecure.
ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a
That's
bitch?
not my fault. You know what I mean? That you feel this type of way. Like, that's crazy to me. But people would do that. People would sit up there, and you got people who will uplift you, befriend you, uplift you, make you feel good, and then try to bring you down.
Uplift you, and then when they get the chance, snatch that cape off your ass. It's
Snatch it
crazy.
right off for you. Yeah, sure will.
But in conclusion, I just, my thing is this, people just be careful with y'all words, man. If it's not really like, it's either this way or it's that way. It can't be both ways. If it ain't no issue, then leave it as that. If it's something that need to be said, it can be addressed. You know what I'm saying? But act accordingly. Like I always say, there's a reason I be saying that because of shit like this. You know what I'm saying? People get sick of me saying it, but I'm gonna keep saying it because people prove me right of why I push that phrase so much. You know what I'm saying? But that's all it is, man. Oh, her punk ass one dropped down already and shit. But Yo, I appreciate y'all listening to me talk and all of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I said I was gonna delete this shit after the fact, whatever. But you know, like I always say, act accordingly, man. Sometimes you gotta really think about the shit you be saying before you get on the platform and say it. You know what I mean? Because for every action is a reaction, and that's the thing about these type of situations. Any situation, you know, whether good or bad, whether you understand, like it's just a reaction for everything. Give and receive, man. Give and receive. And so, you know what I'm saying? But let me get my ass up off of here. I think I am going to delete this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all be easy, man. Act accordingly. I'm going to keep saying that shit, too. All right, I'm gone, man.